Good afternoon and happy Independence Day. I'm Rob Boskamp and you're listening to South Texas Midday. It's Friday, July 4th. Blue Cross Blue Shield and Christus have agreed to continue negotiating after the two entities' original contract for medical services was set to expire July 1st. Contract negotiations were extended until August 1st, meaning BCBS customers can continue seeing doctors under the Christus umbrella and using their facilities at least for the next several weeks. Blue Cross Blue Shield issued a release Wednesday announcing the extension. If the two sides are unable to agree after the extension is up, members will still have access to a network of doctors, healthcare professionals, and hospitals throughout Texas. Stephen Pierce will step down as Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity Corpus Christi, with former City Council member Ben Molina stepping in as interim leader. Pierce, who has served as Executive Director since late last year, will leave effective July 16th. During his tenure, the organization broke ground on new homes and expanded community partnerships. The board has appointed Molina as Interim Executive Director, also effective July 16th, while they conduct a search for a permanent successor. The Department of Homeland Security has signed a waiver to ensure the construction of 17 miles of waterborne barrier in Cameron County. The barrier will be constructed in the Rio Grande in Cameron County within the U.S. Border Patrol's Rio Grande Valley sector. The waiver allows the government to bypass the National Environmental Policy Act, which requires stringent environmental reviews before beginning construction. A timeline on construction of the project was not provided. New data released by the Texas Health and Human Services Commission recorded the number of times immigrants without legal status visited Texas hospitals in the second quarter of this fiscal year. Texas Public Radio's Maria Navarro has the details.
HHSC reported around 79,000 visits by immigrants without legal status across Texas hospitals from last December through this February. The agency estimated the total cost of those visits to be around $329 million. Immigrant advocates say estimated costs do not account for how much patients without legal status actually paid out of pocket, or how much it compares to state hospitals' total unpaid costs. An order by Governor Greg Abbott last year required hospitals in Texas to collect patient citizenship information. Patients are not required to disclose their status. I'm Maria Navarro in San Antonio.
Under the president's tax and spending package just passed by the House, tax credits for new solar and wind energy production will be phased out over the next few years. Doug Lewin, author of the Texas Energy and Power newsletter, says that's a recipe for higher electricity bills.
It's not theoretical in Texas. We've had a 25% increase in energy consumption in the last 4 years. That is measurable and empirical. We know that demand is rising. Now we will have less supply, right? High demand, higher demand, lower supply. Like what happens to prices?
Lewin says the phase out will not affect new wind or solar energy construction that begins within the next 12 months and is completed by 2030. Meanwhile, immigrant rights organizations are celebrating after a federal judge blocked President Trump's proclamation to shut down asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border. Texas Public Radio explains.
Several organizations sued the administration earlier this year, including the American Civil Liberties Union and the Texas Civil Rights Project, on behalf of San Antonio-based Raíces. They alleged Trump's proclamation of a so-called invasion at the southern border was a false justification to deny asylum protections granted by Congress. The judge found the administration overstepped its authority and bypassed immigration law. The Trump administration is expected to appeal. The organizations say the ruling strengthens the call to protect the right to seek asylum. I'm Maria Navarro in San Antonio.
Today is Independence Day, and most of City of Corpus Christi offices, including City Hall, public libraries, and the Public Health District services, will be closed today in observance. Garbage, recycling, heavy brush, and bulky items will still be collected. The J.C. Elliott Transfer Station and Collection Center will be open through 5 p.m. today. Cefe Valenzuela Landfill will be open until 6 p.m. Animal Care Services is closed, but residents can contact the CCPD non-emergency number at 361-826-2600 for emergencies related to wastewater backup or overflow, a gas leak or odor, water main break, or street flooding. Residents can still call 311. A dispatcher will address emergency calls only. H-E-B Tennis Center will be closed. Many public pools across the city will be open at varying times, but Greenwood Pool is temporarily closed for maintenance and repair. Splash pads are open today, as well as the Oso Bay Wetlands Preserve. The Wetlands Learning Center, however, is closed. Recreation centers and gymnasiums are also closed. The Corpus Christi Fire Department wants to remind that possessing or discharging fireworks inside the city limits, including the beach, is illegal. If cited, you could be fined up to $2,000 per package of fireworks. The phone number to report fireworks is 361-886-2677. please do not call 911 for fireworks complaints. Residents are encouraged to visit one of the professional fireworks displays throughout the city. For more information on fireworks discharge and safety tips, contact the City Fire Marshal's office at 361-826-3930. Across the state, law enforcement agencies, judges, and medical professionals are gearing up for a DWI No Refusal initiative effective through Sunday. Drivers pulled over for suspension of drunk driving will take a breathalyzer test or have their blood drawn. The Texas Department of Public Safety is also increasing patrols alongside that campaign. That being said, make wise choices tonight and maybe check out a local fireworks show. And there are plenty to choose from across the region. Corpus Christi hosts the 48th annual Big Bang 4th of July fireworks show tonight. That display will light up the bayfront beginning at 9:30 p.m. The celebration began much earlier today with a ceremony honoring local veterans at Ben Garza Gym. Family-friendly activities will continue along the bayfront throughout the day, culminating in the evening fireworks display. Fireworks show is free and open to the public. If you happen to be closer to Victoria, the 4th of July blast-off will happen from 3 to 10 p.m. today at the Victoria Community Center at 2905 East North Street. Festivities include food trucks, inflatables, and live music from groups such as Pat Matula and the Lone Star Playboys, Chris Zuber Band, and Rewind Texas. The night caps off with a fireworks show at sundown. And for our listeners in the Rio Grande Valley, the City of Brownsville Parks and Rec hosts the 25th annual Salute to Freedom celebration today at Brownsville Sports Park. Families can attend this free celebration at 1000 Sports Park Boulevard at 5 p.m. for a patriotic tailgate, followed by live musical performances from Old Bones, Revo Live Band, Audio Escape, and a special George Strait tribute by Derek Spence starting at 6 p.m. Guests can enjoy food vendors, games, and family-friendly activities throughout the evening with a fireworks display lighting up the night sky shortly after 9 p.m. Plenty to choose from this weekend, but make wise choices or you might have to face the music. That being said, hardcore punk music has historically been dominated by white, cisgendered men, but in North Texas, that's changing. KERA's Stephanie Salas Vega looks at the new faces of the genre.
When Chris Victor started attending local hardcore shows in Dallas over 15 years ago, he didn't see a lot of black hardcore fans like himself.
Just from the perspective of other black people. Hardcore was like just one of those wild, crazy white boy things that black kids really don't associate with.
Today, Victor is a frontman of True Grit, an outlaw country hardcore band. Hardcore music emerged in the late 70s and early 80s. Bands like Black Flag and Minor Threat, who all had white members, helped put hardcore music on the map. But their angry, white, teenage fans weren't always accepting of people who looked different.
Like, if you looked a certain way, you get moshed on. Like, if you look like you didn't belong.
Robbie Clark is a frontman of Gagging Order, a hardcore punk band. They have black and Latino members. Moshing is an extreme style of dancing. While it looks aggressive, it's meant to show unity. But Clark says some fans use moshing as a weapon against people of color. By the early 2000s, hardcore music began receiving criticism for its lack of diversity and inclusivity. But local bands have noticed a major shift after the pandemic. So why now?
I think it just gets progressive over time. And, like, people's views change. And, you know, I really like the fact that we're in a day and age of, like, where they're trying to, like, not do traditionalism. Like, people are actually trying to think for themselves.
Board Magazine is a local music blog that covers hardcore music. It's led by Victor. He says more people of color are coming to hardcore shows or forming new bands, but that's not all.
It's way more diverse now than it was before. And I'm not even talking about just race, sexuality.
River Elliott is a bassist of True Grit, but she's widely known as a frontwoman of local metallic hardcore band Ballista. She's a black trans woman who's vocal about trans visibility through her music with Ballista. Another woman in the hardcore scene providing a fresh perspective is Nat Mares. She's a vocalist of hardcore punk band Muñeca.
You don't see very much parents in the hardcore punk scene at all, so it made it kind of hard for me to want to join that creative aspect, as in, like, you know, making music and stuff.
Muñeca's music speaks about sexual violence and harassment women face. Mares is a Latina and a mom to a 5-year-old daughter. She wants to show that she can be a role model to her daughter as a hardcore musician.
As a parent, like, you don't have to throw away your life because you have a kid. Like, you can have a kid and do those things. And it also inspires my daughter. Like, she loves our band. She tells me, like, she wants to join a band one day.
Whether it's Muñeca, True Grit, or Gagging Order, it's clear the face of hardcore music is changing in North Texas. And that opens up the genre to more audiences.
It brings me so much joy when I see more people of color in an environment like this.
It's a vibrant scene that's continuing to evolve and change. I'm Stephanie Salas Vega in Dallas.
And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. And from all of us at KEDT and KVRT, we want to wish you and your family a wonderful and safe 4th of July weekend. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.